RedWolf here, and today we're going to take a deep dive look into blasters in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Today's target is the A280 CFE. We'll be taking a look at magazine size, rate of fire, damage and how it drops off, cooling power, and accuracy. I'm going to assume you already know which weapon this class belongs to, but if you don't, I'll link the trooper review for their class in the card that's coming up on your screen now. But before we get into all that, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button so you don't miss when your favorite weapon is posted. New videos will be out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and streamings will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central. If you know anyone who is interested in stats, please share this with them since they'll probably enjoy this. So let's start with the magazine size, or the number of rounds you can fire before the system causes you to take a break. The A280 CFE is a single fire or a 3-round burst and has a 15-round magazine. So if you're on single fire, you can fire 15 shots, and if you're on burst, you can fire 5 bursts before it forces you to cool. This is more than any other DMR available for the specialist class. The next closest is the initial weapon at 10 rounds. Like all ion shot attachments, there is no change to the number of rounds before being forced to cool down. Since the A280 is the only weapon with a burst fire on the specialist class, let's take on how it fares for rate of fire. So in single fire, the A280 is able to get through 15 rounds in 2.3 seconds. This puts the rounds per minute at 386.27. This is faster rate of fire than all other specialist DMRs and most officer weapons without modifications. When we add for the burst modification, you're able to get through the 5 bursts in 1.5 seconds. This brings the rounds per minute to 600, which will keep it above the officers and the specialist weapons in rate of fire, even with fire modifications added to the other weapons. While the A280 CFE has by far the highest rate of fire in class, it's a much different style weapon than the others available to the specialist. The biggest difference and why this weapon isn't used for sniping a whole lot comes to the damage that it does. Unlike all other DMRs for the specialist, the A280 does have drop off on its weapon damage. At close range, the A280 CFE will do 33 damage per round up to 14 steps away, and from there it'll start to drop down to 25 damage per round at 25 steps. With ion shot attached, it does 29 damage at close range and 22 at long, and if you're using single fire, you'll be able to pump out a potential of 212 damage per second at close range and 160 per second at long. If you're using the burst modification, you're able to pump out 330 damage per second at close range and 250 damage at long if all shots hit. With the A280 CFE, it will take 4 rounds to kill a specialist, 5 to kill an officer or assault, and 7 to kill in heavy at close range. If you're using the burst modification, you'll be able to do it in 2 bursts for each class at close range besides heavy, which will take 3 unless you hit the head, since it's actually like 6.06 rounds to kill a heavy, so it'll be close. If you use the ion shot, it'll take 1 more round to kill each class, so it'll definitely take 3 bursts for a heavy. On this weapon, since it is more of a medium range weapon, I would use the ion shot on it. The reason I would use the ion shot is that you'll be able to take down the heavy shield very quickly, allowing you to kill them faster. The ion shot also helps take down turrets quickly, and lately I see primarily officers and heavies running around, so there are a ton of turrets to shoot. Personally, I use the ion shot and the burst modification on this weapon. Again, since it's medium range, I don't need the extra zoom on most maps. If it's a map with long sight lanes, I'll drop the ion for the zoom in those situations. As for the recoil and the grouping on this weapon, it's really tight regardless if it's on burst or single fire, making this weapon really accurate and easy to land shots at a distance. Even at farther ranges, the burst is still rather tight in comparison to its fully automatic counterparts. With that, you can do some decent sniping with this. It will take a few more rounds to drop enemies, but it is very possible to continuously land shots and land them very quickly. So if there's someone running around that's low health, you should be able to quickly finish them off, whether you're on single fire or on burst modification. Personally, if I'm going to be using long range, I will go ahead and just use single fire on this, mainly because the burst does jump quite a bit, or it feels like it jumps quite a bit, so it's hard to track a moving target sometimes. So if you are trying to snipe long range, go ahead and leave the burst modification off. If you're going to be more aggressive, primarily like how I end up playing it, go ahead and leave the burst modification on there, since the burst modification in close range is great. At long range, it's still really good and useful, but if you're really trying to track targets at a very far range, you're probably going to want that single shot. The cooling or reload time on this weapon differs from the rest of the class as well. The fastest cooling option is of course the manual cool, which will take 1 second to complete. If you decided to completely overheat the weapon and hit the blue, it'll take 1.26 seconds, and the gold will take 2.26 seconds. If you decide not to try the minigame, it will take 2.46 seconds to completely cool. This is about on par with most weapons in the game, and pretty similar to the Assault's counterparts for the A280 as well. So if you're an Assault player and you're thinking about playing the Specialist for a little while, go ahead and try this weapon. You'll find it very familiar to the second weapon unlock for the Assault class, which is just the A280. And if you're a Specialist who's looking to go over to Assault, that's probably a good place to start, is the A280 for the Assault class, since it's very similar to your own. The Assault class does have a little bit better cooling though, so we'll get into that here when we actually talk about the A280, so don't be shocked if you see a difference if you're switching classes and trying to find a similar weapon. With cards for the A280, I tend to run the stealth card since I'm usually very up close and I don't want to give my position away with each shot. Also, it adds increased melee damage and I love to melee people as a Specialist. I'll use personal shield because again I am close range and I have 50 less health than assaults and officers and 100 less than heavies, so the shield does help when you're trying to get away. And then I also use an infiltration ability. Usually I use hardened infiltration, since infiltration is mainly there just to detect when an enemy is close by and to quickly finish someone off. Hardened infiltration will allow you to take a few more shots. So in the comment section down below, let me know what weapon you're wanting to see next. If there's enough focus on one weapon in particular, I'll see what I can do to move it up. And if you don't care about weapons but the class specifically, let me know and I'll see what I can do there as well. If none of this applies to you, let me know which you prefer, Coke or Pepsi. Personally, I prefer Pepsi. It's a little bit sweeter, but I'll drink Coke because it's usually on sale. So if you like this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe to the channel. I love having you guys here. You can also join the PlayStation community at RedWolf72ps4 where we can talk and party up for a few matches. Also, during stream nights on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will send a party invite to the community, so feel free to join in. You can also find me on Twitter at RedWolf72ps4. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I will see you again.